Thank you all, and welcome. We have a few items we have to clear up before we get into the South Mountain Pass information for this evening. Tara, you want to just fire away?
First is a resolution authorizing the Highway Department purchase of a Kubota Tractor L482 4820 HST to replace the tractor deemed totaled by the insurance company using the settlement funds of $28,705 as well as $7,692.07 from the new equipment line to cover the difference in cost.
So Adam, we're fortunate enough to have you here this evening. I know a tree fell on this overnight. A storm came and just completely totaled the tractor. So the insurance company is giving us $28,705, and the additional $76.92 is coming out of the new equipment line. Can I get a motion to approve?
I just got one question.
Sure.
Where did that happen? Was it in our yard, the tree came down on it? Okay, just curious where it was.
Nobody cut down a tree down there, did they? Just check it. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the tractor?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Next is a resolution authorizing Supervisor Van Tassel to sign the revised letter requesting technical advice and assistance from the Trust for Public Land and the Hudson Highlands Land Trust Incorporated in connection with the Town of Philipstown's efforts to establish a community preservation fund.
So we approved this once already, but I believe there was a technicality in the letter. It wasn't addressed. Right. Who's in?
Wanted to include HHLT.
Yes,
so-
because they're covering the bill. So it's
Yes.
extremely important that we include them in the resolution. So can I get a motion approving the resolution to hire Trust for Public Land
Sign
and Hudson Highland Land Trust in connection with the Conservation Preservation Fund?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you.
John, can I make one quick comment?
Sure.
We probably need to keep this Community Preservation Fund process moving. We probably need to just make sure that this group volunteering to help us does so by March.
I'll trust that you will do that.
I will keep on them, but I
Is
think
that
it's,
to get it on the ballot? in the
well,
fall?
because there are lots of things, once we decide we're going to do this or not do this, there are lots of things that we need to do. So the feasibility part should probably get wound up by the end of March.
If you remember, we did this right in the height of COVID. The polling was done, I believe, April or May of 2020, and people were not in a comfortable position, and the polling was really bad on pursuing the fund itself. So we tabled it at that point, and here we are again. I know there's a lot more communities have been added to doing this very process, so I'm hopeful that it'll be better received this time, but we'll see.
Next is a resolution authorizing Supervisor Van Tassel to sign a letter of support for the establishment of a People USA Stabilization Center to the Carmel Planning Board.
Okay, we have a request from a resident of the Town of Philipstown to support the People USA Stabilization Center, which is proposed in the town of Carmel. And this letter was to go to the Carmel Planning Board. So before we endorsed that, I reached out to the supervisor of Carmel to get his opinion on the location, because we know what it's like when other communities are making suggestions within our community. So he is completely in favor of it. I spoke to Supervisor Kazari. He's completely in favor of the stabilization center. He's not supportive of the location that it's going in. So we kind of tailored the letter a little bit different. I'm still unsure or uncomfortable with the fact that we're writing a letter to another planning board. I think the way we've written it, we're just asking the Carmel Planning Board to do their job, which I'm sure they are doing their job. So
Is it going to be those, a resource that our residents
yeah, it's a
can?
county, it'll be a
can-
county
okay,
resource. So
they can
there's,
access
and I support the need for it. And the local person is an expert in the field and suggested that we do this, and there is a need for it. And the Carmel supervisor identified the need as well, but he just thinks that there is other locations, there is current medical facilities that could house it. He's not quite sure why they've selected the facility that they've selected to utilize. So I'm open to comment, suggestion from the board. Do we just leave it, we're in support of the stabilization center? We rewrote it to include, we strongly support a People USA Center, and thank you for your time and consideration. We urge the Carmel Planning Board to ensure the proposed location will conform with the immediate neighborhood and that all potential existing medical facility options have been explored. It's pretty benign, the way,
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, I'm
I
in
wouldn't
favor of
get
it.
more specific than that, because
Yeah.
I'm
No, we-
not comfortable
yeah, I
directing
feel
another.
weird making a recommendation to another committee.
John, I'm full support of the idea of a stabilization center, but very uncomfortable with the idea of telling another town's planning board that we suggest that they put it in the location that's up for them. So I'm comfortable with the amended version.
Yeah, we have no,
Bobby?
no, I'm fine with it too. I mean, we can't tell people where it's should go or shouldn't go. We have no authority over that.
I agree with that. I was reading, I did a little research this morning on this, and there's a lot of controversy in Carmel about it. There's a lot of pushback, and I don't know anything about, I don't live there. What do I know about it? So
Right.
I would be very uncomfortable saying, that I have some suggestions to where it should go. But this doesn't make that suggestion.
Right, just
And-
said, please consider the location.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with the town of Philipstown reiterating a need for mental health support in our county.
In the county, right.
I'm on board with that, so.
Okay, so, good. All right, can I get a motion supporting the letter to be sent to the Carmel Planning Board as written?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you.
Next is a resolution approving the installation of a memorial marker to be sponsored by the Lafayette Trail Incorporated with funding from the William G. Pomeroy Foundation, and this is a roll call vote.
Bobby, you want to?
Yes, this is in the Robinson House down in Garrison. The current owner of the property is Grace Kennedy. I got in touch with her the other day, and she's more in favor of having it. So when she said yes, that's why I got in touch with her, so we can get this on the agenda tonight and get this approved. I'm gonna ask help from Adam, that once the time comes to have it installed, we have to dig a hole, put a little concrete or something like that, but I'm sure you guys could easily take care of it.
We could pull back the tractor.
But anyway, we got a letter showing it's a nice, very nice plaque, and it's it's always nice to have something history. We have, as you know, we have an awful lot of history in our area here today. So this is just an additional plaque that's very nice marker, just showing that this is when Benedict Arnold finally was charged with treason, and that's what this is all about. So Benedict Arnold, and after that, Washington and Lafayette met down at the Robinson House. So this is what this is all about. So I think it's a great thing.
Is it going to be on the road?
It's gonna be close to the road. There's a marker down there today, as you can see, but it's gonna be right in that vicinity.
Across the field from us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Lafayette was, a hero.
We'll be in that plaque down there.
Oh, you live across the street? I don't know where you live down there. I won't make it bigger
No, it's a
then.
really good idea. Lafayette was a lifesaver.
And other than us assisting with the base, there's no cost to the town of Philipstown. There's nothing.
Quick
That's,
question, are these signs akin to the blue with yellow
Yes.
borders? Are they-
It's similar to that. This one's, it's white, red, white, and blue. This one is happened to be. The picture that I received was like a red, white, and blue, but it's very similar to those marks.
About that same
It's
size
almost
and-
exact
yeah, yeah,
same
cool.
size, yes.
Yeah, I too, for the record,
no flashing lights.
I'm a fan of Lafayette.
Yes.
It's high time for him to
Okay.
have his moment here.
Can I get a motion supporting the General Lafayette plaque on Route 9D in Garrison?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Councilman Flaherty.
Aye.
Councilman Prentice.
Aye.
Councilman Roush.
Aye.
Councilwoman Farrell.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Before we release the town clerk, I just wanted to discuss, I know you guys received a correspondence about the FEIS review for the Hudson Highland Fjord Trail. I will be completely honest, I have not even opened the document. So I am basing my comments on the review that others have done. We have, I have requested Steve Marino, who prepped our DGIS response, to review the FEIS and to make a report to us as to his feelings. A lot of the preliminary feedback I'm getting is that HHFT got a glowing report from the DGIS questions. So I won't comment on the responses themselves, but I think there has been quite a bit of public request. I know the Village of Cold Spring has written a letter to State Parks requesting an additional public hearing on the on the FEIS results. And I think it would be appropriate for the town of Philipstown to endorse a similar request. The way we work is public comment, and that's how we get a better product. So if you don't mind, I will draft a letter similar to, we have a copy of what the Village of Cold Spring did. I will consult with Steve Gaba, or our new town attorney, who happens to be in the room this evening, Mary Kate, welcome, to make sure that we are in compliance with the law and request that State Parks provide us with a public hearing on the FEIS. It would allow public comment by the general public. It would allow public comment by, excuse me, any of us that are interested, and the professionals that we have hired. So if I could get a resolution supporting a letter that would be drafted with cooperation of Steve Gaba and myself to New York State Parks requesting an additional public hearing on the FEIS.
I thought, I just want to clarify, Supervisor, that it was to extend the waiting, the review period to 30 days and include a state public
Yep,
hearing.
yep.
Is that standard for following an FGIS to have
I wouldn't
another
know.
public hearing?
I wouldn't know. Ron, would you have any input as to?
The issue of a public hearing on final,
After an
Yes.
FGIS.
that's typically not done. It has been done before, and it's not usual.
And any,
Comment period is always after.
yeah, we certainly can be denied,
Right.
but I don't see the harm in asking, is my point. So. Mary Kate, would you have anything to add to that?
To ask for another public hearing?
Yes.
I agree with what you said about public hearing and public comment is
Right.
how the work gets done.
Right.
I don't see any harm off the top of my head in asking.
Okay. We certainly can ask,
Yeah, it's,
and no is a possibility.
yeah,
There is a timeline we're working under, which is tight.
yeah.
So. Can I get a motion supporting a letter?
I move that.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you. I will make sure I get a draft out to all of you before I send anything, though, without a doubt. I think that's it. Tara?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is just the discussion of the South Mountain Pass traffic calming measures assessment and design.
Okay, so for the rest of the evening, what I would like to do and like to accomplish is, we have the SLR report in front of us. We've had months to review it. We did have a meeting with the general public at the rec center where we released it, and there was a lot of discussion about not only the safety plan, but as well as the drainage and paving plan. The plan that I would like to do is I'd like to get out to bid as soon as possible for a early spring construction, which would consist of the drainage, and then very quickly followed by the pavement and the safety implementations to be installed. So first, I would like to have Anthony Russo from SLR is here today. He'll just quickly go through the safety plan that's proposed. I know there's a few questions, and one of the major ones that I've identified with Anthony is that 2 of the speed humps are beyond the town line. They're actually in the town of Cortland. I've had a brief email exchange with the supervisor of the town of Cortland. He's open to that discussion, but I said we'd like to get through this evening first, and then I'll reach out again. My hope would be to just eliminate those 2 speed humps from this plan, because they would be going on top of the pavement that is existing in the town of Cortland regardless. So in order to not delay this portion, because it will take time for us to get an MOA with the town of Cortland in order to do that. So I would like to eliminate those from the safety plan, either that or move them in within the town's boundary on our pavement if it works logistically in a safety manner. so that we're not delaying the pavement, and we're not here next November discussing this again. So, Anthony, if you could just take us through the highlights of your SLR plan.
Absolutely.
And your background, if you could.
Sure. Well, first, I'd like to thank you for having me tonight. Thank
you.
the supervisor and the council for the opportunity to do this report and present it tonight. My name is Anthony Russo. I'm with the consulting firm SLR Consulting out of offices in New Paltz. I have over 40 years' experience in traffic and transportation consulting. I would say more than half of my work has been working with municipalities, where I've reviewed traffic studies. I've done it once before for Philipstown in a project, provide comments and guidance, when they need expertise in the traffic and transportation field. Also been on the other side of the table representing developers as well. So countless traffic impact studies, and also have been involved in what I call special projects. This is being one of them, where a town has an issue, and since we've worked for them, they say, can you take a look at an issue or problem we have and how we might address it to make it better for the traveling public or safer. So that's a little bit about my experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the first thing is, when I first was contacted about this South Mountain Pass Road, was from the town, there's a section of it obviously that's not paved, dirt road. When I was out there driving, I noticed that even most of the gravel was gone at that point. So there's plans to pave the road. The possibility of, when you pave the road, is that you could have an increase in cut-through traffic through the residential area, and also you could have an increase in speeding. So the question was, in light of paving, is there anything that could be done to ensure that we make this not an attractive route for cut-through traffic, and that we also ensure that there isn't speeding once the road's paved? So ultimately, that's the reason for doing the report. So we looked at, we went out to the field in September. I drove the road a couple of times, got out, took a bunch of measurements, and developed a report and the graphics that you see based on that field visit. Chris Robbins also accompanied me during that visit for part of it. So what happens when you pave the road, the possibility again is that people will look for this as an east-west crossing, because what's attractive about the road is that it connects 9 to 9D. So if you're coming up, especially north, 202 is backed up, or you don't want to go on 202 to go from 9 to 9D, that this could be a route that maybe one of your phone devices, whatever app you have, can tell you, oh, go on South Mountain Pass Road. It's paved, it could be more attractive. So we want to put in safety measures to deter that, and safety measures also to reduce speeding. So the one way to do that is, as soon as you would enter Mountain Pass Road, is that both on the east end where 9 is and the west end where 9D is, as soon as you come into it, to put up the signage saying traffic calming zone. So you know you're coming into an area right away that you're going to have some kind of devices put into the road to reduce speed and not to make it an attractive route. So we want to hit that as soon as motorists will come in. So when you take a look at a report, the recommendation that we had on both ends at 9 and 9D was to put in speed humps. And speed humps work well in series. So we had the sign up for the traffic calming zone, then you would hit a speed hump, and then you would have go on pavement, and then you hit a second speed hump. The same thing true at 9D, the signage with a series of speed humps. So as soon as a motorist comes on, they will realize, well, this may not be the most attractive route right away, given the signage, given the speed humps, given the reinforcement of 15 miles per hour. The one thing I would say that's unique about this road, aside from the measures that we recommended in the report for the town for consideration, is This road, it has some natural calming, traffic calming measures already built into it. The road is narrow, it's winding, it has some steep grades and some steep declines. In some ways, that already makes it an unattractive road. Even if you pave it, to some, it's gonna be an unattractive road. You know, I drove it, and I would say in some cases, I was like, you know, I wouldn't wanna be on this road necessarily on a day where it's rainy or it's snowy, or maybe I'd rather go a different route, just because of the way the road exists today. But there are sections of it where you enter which are flat, and as people first come on, that's where you want to hit them with these type of improvements. Now, the thing about speed humps is they really need to be on a flat level surface. We do not want to put speed humps on when you have an incline or a decline, because you don't want a car hitting that at any kind of speed where it can lose control. So they are best on flat surfaces. So that was the recommendation. Well, we had it, I know it's in the town of Cortland, we saw the sign out there. That was one of the reasons for recommending it there. The other recommendation we had is I probably drove that street about 10 times back and forth, just to see where I can get to a speed that was higher than 15 miles an hour and still feel safe in the car. And that was, if you look at the graphic that we had in the report, got up to about maybe 25 miles an hour, you know, feeling comfortable, a little higher, and that was at Copper Mine Road and South Mountain Pass Spur. That was the location where we made a recommendation, but there's dynamic speed signs. That's when you're driving on the road. There's all different types. It has the speed limit, and then if you're going over the speed limit, as you approach the sign, it will flash to let you know that you need to slow down. So we put in traffic calming measures in the beginning as you come in on both ends of South Mountain Pass Road, and also the dynamic speed sign. We also recommended another speed hump. It's exactly where the paved section kind of meets the unpaved section where it's still flat. And part of that is just on the border with Philipstown and Cortland, so we definitely can move that one. Okay. And we also recommended one on 9D. So in total, there's 3 speed humps. There's a traffic calming sign when you first come in from 9 or 9D, the 2 speed humps, then you have a distance, there's another speed hump, we have the transition currently from paved to unpaved, and then more towards the middle where I mentioned the dynamic speed sign. So you put all this together, it will provide for a safer road when paved. It will provide for what we think will be a less attractive route given all the traffic calming measures that we recommend. And I also think what's inherent in the road, as I mentioned before, it is a narrow, winding road, again, which I think has some natural traffic calming measures to it. So overall, that's what we recommended based on our field visit. The report shows the proposed locations of where these speed humps could be located and the signage. Also in the back, it gave some pictures of what they would look like, these measures as well. And we also considered some other things other than speed humps, and to see if they were appropriate for South Mountain Pass Road. And I refer you to page 5 of the report. One of them was, in some cases, I've seen in certain neighborhoods, they have these little mini circles. So anything that keeps somebody from going straight and they have to make a little bit of jog in the road and go around, it slows them down a bit, and again, makes it reduce speed, makes it safer, makes it less attractive. But we didn't think that was possible on this road, given how narrow it is. So we gave the pros and cons of that, but we didn't think it would work here. The other thing is that you can do is you can cul-de-sac the road. And I know there was previous discussions about that as well.
Discussion didn't go well.
It didn't go well. And we gave the pros and cons, and one of that, of course, is that for certain people that live on the road, it's gonna require longer driving distances to get where they have to go. There are ways to get around the emergency service issue. Of course, you have the knock box with the gate, but you also have bollards that can go up, and they are on pins in the road. So as a fire truck drives over, it can drive right over the buller will go down, the truck will go right over it, and they will come right back up again. So it will allow for the passage of an emergency vehicle, right, without having the need for them to get out of the truck and open up a gate. It still will allow like a bicycle or a motorcycle or a pedestrian to walk through, but it won't allow other vehicles to get through except for emergency service. But again, we didn't really go in depth with that because I know you already had a conversation. I was just mentioning other ways that it could be handled with emergency vehicles. And then we talked about additional signage, static signage. You already have a lot of signs out there. Now, we did take pictures of a lot of the signs. A lot of them are slanted. A lot of them are not necessarily visible because of vegetation. So one recommendation was to get those signs standing more erect and also to clear the vegetation so the signs are more visible. So everything that we have in here new with the 3 speed humps on either end, the dynamic signage, clearing up your signs, if you pave the road, we think would help be a deterrent for making this an attractive east-west crossing from 9 to 98, less attractive, less cut-through traffic, and also would ensure that speeds don't get higher on the road. In most cases, when these implementations have been put in other areas, studies have shown that speeds have indeed been reduced, and that cut-through traffic has also been reduced when you put in the measures that are recommended in this report. So there is some post-implementation studies in the literature that show they are effective. They can't completely deter the public, of course, but they have shown to be effective.
Couple points. We
Sure.
are not connecting pavement to pavement, so there will still be a large amount of the center of the road that's unpaved. So that will also deter people, we would hope. And then I know there was a mention of a 3-way stop on the west end where,
Yeah.
I forget the name of the
Manitou.
other. What's the other?
Manitou Road.
Manitou
intersects,
Road,
yeah.
yes.
And the reason for that is just being out there and being a traffic engineer, just doing like a safety audit. When I was on Manitou Road back looking at sight distance, I noticed that you really have to inch your car kind of up almost into South Mountain Pass Road to see. You have a wall blocking you on one side. So one of the things that I thought about is making it an all-way stop. So when everyone stops there, it's safer to make that turn from Manitou Road onto South Mountain Pass Road. The other consideration was putting traffic calming measures in Highway 90 is somebody might try to bypass them, and all of a sudden you might get more traffic on Manitou Road.
But you're still gonna come to a stop sign, which
You
is.
still gotta come to a stop sign, everybody comes to a stop sign now, and that makes it safer. So it was sight distance consideration, and also some people may try to sneak, past, entering South Mountain Pass Road on 9D and come up Manitou Road instead. So I looked at that from a safety standpoint and thought that is another possibility. Now, stop signs are not traffic calming measures technically, but they do slow people down.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a brief summary of the report, why we did it, what was the initiative, the paving was, and what we looked at and what we considered.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
No, the only concern I have is could you estimate the time it might impact commuters who are residents from that road with speed humps? I mean, it's not a significant delay, right? That was one of.
It would not be a significant delay. I
Oh.
mean, if you really wanted us to quantify it, we can, but I did not expect it to be a
Speed
significant
limit's
delay.
15 miles per hour anyway,
Yes.
so if you're following the speed limit, you could probably go over the speed hump at 15 miles per hour.
Yeah, you try to design speed humps for the speed that's comfortable. I mean, you have to go over them at that speed to be comfortable. If you go over them faster, you will feel it. You could bottom your car out. You could feel your car bottoming out. And of course, it's uncomfortable for the driver.
Can you describe what a speed hump is made out of? Is it built into the road, or is it something applied to the road?
It built into the road. It's gonna be, asphalt built into the road.
And plows?
Now, plows, you need a special plow for that.
We need a special
It's
plow.
gotta have rubber
Have to have a
rubber
rubber
tip, not to
tip on
not
the
to
plow.
I have
destroy
faith that we'll
it.
be able to manage that.
You have to have a special plaque.
Yeah.
Now, you've all been in shopping centers, you see little speed bumps.
Right.
Now, how many times have you seen them broken up? That's because
But this is
they've
not a
been plowed.
traditional speed bump.
Yeah,
This is
a hump.
a
It's more gradual.
It's much
more gradual.
But I'm using that
Probably about
example
4 or
because
5
you've
feet
seen them
wide.
broken up,
Yeah.
pieces missing. That's because they use regular plows on them, and over time, it just breaks them.
Breaks, right.
So you want to avoid that. And the hump is more gradual. And the other consideration for a hump rather than a bump is for noise. This is residential. A bump is more noisier as cars go over it.
Would it be possible maybe to get a car counter before we start this project, just to see, different times of years makes a big difference of traffic going anywhere, but
Yeah.
if we put a car counter prior to doing the paving, just for an idea, and then do it after it's paved again and see if there's any big significant increase in traffic. I don't know, does the county have those things, don't they?
I have no idea.
Well,
Okay.
You know, I thought about that. Now, I could answer that question if I may.
Sure.
In some cases, you know, of course, this is only recommendations to the town. Instead of putting measures in immediately, sometimes you do exactly what you say. They first see, does the problem materialize? So, you go out there, you put tubes on the road, or there are certain cameras that could be put up that can capture the volume before you do your work. Could put it on both ends. And then you could do your pavement, put the cameras back in the same exact place or the tubes back in the same place, and see, did we get two things you're looking for? Did we get the volume increase we expected? Is it significant or not? And you could also get speeds too with that as well. Did the speed increase or did it stay the same? Now, based on that information, you can make a decision. Do we want to take all these measures, some of these measures? Almost look at this like a menu, based on real information from, you know, from having a pre and post study based on when you put the pavement in. So that's another consideration. It wasn't put into the report, but I plan on talking about it, and you asked the question. That's another thing that I've seen towns do as well.
My only concern is, well, first of all, the traffic really varies based on if there's an accident on 202. If there's an accident on 202,
That's the next road.
it's
So I
inundated
understand
with
that.
traffic.
Sure.
My other concern is if we add the pavement and we don't implement any of the traffic measures that you've identified,
Problems there.
and if there's an issue or somebody gets, if there's an injury or an accident, then I would feel that we didn't do our due diligence. The only safety implement that I think would create a problem, and this would be more for the neighbors, if there's an illuminated sign in the middle of the woods up by Manitou or by South Mountain Pass Spur, I think that's going to create some problems for the resident. It's not like it's on 301 here and there's streetlights. It's going to be in the middle of the woods, a flashing illuminated sign, which I think it'll be creating more problems than it would, because the people that are speeding through there, they're not going to care if they're speeding. I mean, if a sensible driver is going to drive at a reasonable speed, and that, unless that sign will snap a picture of their license plate and say, you're getting a ticket, there's not going to be anybody out there witnessing, saying, oh, that guy's speeding, and, or that woman is speeding. But I am certainly in favor of implementing the speed humps, the three-way stop, improving the signage, right along at the same time with getting the pavement in. We can certainly do
You can still do the study, just to see the
we can do a
impact.
traffic count afterwards to see what the speed is or what the volume is. And again, it's so variable based on 202. If there's an issue on 202 or 403.
Two points you made are well taken. The thing is you don't, waiting to do it after till you get data puts the town in a position they may not want to be in.
I'd rather be proactive
Correct.
than reactive.
And the thing is, I understand about the dynamic sign, it was mentioned in the report, but there's also the characteristic of the road.
Right.
It does not necessarily, from what you're saying, and I understand, fit in with the characteristic of the road. It's a rural country road.
There's one up here,
Yeah.
but there's also streetlights, so it's not like it's a dark
I
neighborhood.
understand that.
It's not.
And that's a consideration too, also
This is
what is it?
You want to eliminate that?
Yeah, I don't think, I mean,
Well,
I don't think in the wooded residential area, that
I
flashing
think
light.
it's gonna create some issues for sure.
Yes.
Well, it depends on where it is, right? I mean, is it gonna be close to someone's home, a house right now?
Well, there
I
are
mean,
houses at that intersection, yeah, or close to it.
to it. Well, I mean, like I said this, I think, a couple weeks ago, when I see that sign on Main Street and I'm coming down 301, I see it as all, and I slow down.
Right.
Because, you know, like, anyway, that's me.
Studies have shown that people reduce their speed between 2 and 8 miles per hour when they see that. I mean, it's already marked 15 miles an hour. But I'm just saying, I understand the issue with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine if we just talked about putting a streetlight in there, that it would, the commotion, I mean, people move to South Mountain Pass for a dark road. They don't, it's not like they're living in the village or on it.
Is there, okay, let me ask you this question. If I drive by there and I see that it's, I'm going 25, whatever, 30, how long does that light stay on? Is it on for 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds? You could probably determine how long you want that to be lit up, right?
Yeah, there are intervals that you could determine. I mean, basically, as soon as it shows your speed, it will flash.
Yeah.
And as you get like right to the sign, you know, you should be slowing down, because you see that, and it goes off right
And
after.
it goes right off after that.
Yeah, it's shortly after that it goes off there. So it's not on for a long time.
It's not on for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, where you see them on the longest, actually, is at school crossings, and that's for a good reason, yeah. But they're adjustable, and, you know, there's all different types.
I don't even know if there's power right there.
Well, it gets solar.
Oh, it's solar power.
Recommended solar. Yeah, I think you might have issue with electrical.
Yeah, you're right, you don't put the power in there.
Yeah, I doubt there is power.
Yeah.
A question for you, is there any way to convey some of this information to, say, Google Maps? Google Maps doesn't, as far as I know, post speed limits, but maybe there's municipal pressure at some point where they would. They're certainly capable of adding that. They,
On some of the roads, they do. I mean, you drive on some roads, and they do post this, they do have your speed and the speed limit.
so, I mean, because,
I'm
you
not
know,
saying-
part of
I'm
the.
not saying that's true for every road,
Right.
but I have seen.
But I know that part of the problem is people say drivers come from wherever, and they're following their GPS, and the GPS says go this way. But if that information included, or if that direction included information that this is a 15-mile-an-hour road that's very rural, obviously I can get a paragraph of information, but that shows that it's got obstacles on it or speed deterrent structures. I don't know if there's any movement.
We actually, Waze, or one of the providers, actually provides the information to all of their, or most of the GPS-assisted maps that you get in your car or your phone. So we attempted years ago to make sure that South Mountain Pass is not an alternate for 202. But at that point, we had no luck. Recently, Tara has made some progress in getting that road removed as an alternate for 202 when 202 goes down, whether it's successful or not. And I would have to say, or venture to say, a lot of the commuter traffic that would shoot through there is not relying on their GPS. They've been through that road before. I mean, somebody coming from another, state or area may be using their GPS, but most of the people that, in my opinion, are people that are commuting from Rockland to Westchester, or
They've been around the block and they know.
they know the
where
routes.
they-
They know it's South Mountain Pass, and then it's 403.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, we would encourage them to go to 403, which is more suitable for
Yeah.
heavier traffic, so.
It's a tough thing to get the GPS, folks and their apps to when they make changes. I mean, I've been with
There's
other
so
towns that
many
go down that
providers,
road.
that's the
It's-
other problem, too.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm saying it's impossible, but it's not easy.
Anything else? Ron, would you have any input on the safety, where, you've got 80 years of experience on these road building projects? You gotta go to the mic if you could.
Okay. The study actually was sufficiently thorough for your understanding. It's all a matter of trying to have enough notice to potential drivers on the road. Anybody local that uses that road is still going to use it. You're trying to make it as obvious as you can that it's a difficult road to traverse. So I find them all appropriate.
Thank you.
One thing I wanted to add is like, it's a draft report. Obviously, you have to review it, and you've already gone through it and talked about your likes and dislikes, which is what we expected. We wanted to throw everything at you.
Right.
The other thing we talked about is that when you're ready to do this, you know, with your permission, SLR would not mind being out there to make certain that there could be adjustments to the speed humps.
Right.
You know, make sure they're on flat ground. Like the one that's first shown on 9D is only at 60 feet, like from the intersection. I would probably change that from what's shown on the graphic to move it another 50 feet in eastward. So when you put up the traffic calming, a speed hump sign,
Right.
that there's enough warning, you gotta give people enough warning that it's coming to make no liability issues for the town. So I would make some
And
changes.
then on the east end, where we're in the town of Cortland,
Yes.
is there an area where we could get it into the town of Philipstown that would still be
Yeah, I
safe?
still think there's an area where you definitely can get one of them. I'm not saying you can get two for certain, because you start to go up grade at that point. But I believe my recollection from being out there is that you can get one of them.
But in the meantime, I will attempt, even if we could get one, and we could certainly put a sign there that, we have signs there already that's at the
Yeah,
line.
you have signs, and I worked in Cortland for years, I know
So you know
Dr.
Dr. Becker, so.
very well.
As
I was a consultant there for over 30 years with the town of Cortland.
Right, so
So
I don't
that'd
think there'll
with
be an
sign.
issue with getting,
A sign, I don't think would be an issue.
no, I don't think the signs will be an issue, but I'm sure the hump will provide some discussion at least, so.
I don't know, do they maintain that section of road, or do you guys have a?
I don't, do we plow that? They do it. So you guys each pick your plow up and stop? Yeah. Right, theoretically. Understood.
I guess the only way around it, if Cortland agreed, and not putting words in anybody's mouth, is that they would have to allow you then, if you want to put the speed humps, to plow that section too.
Right.
Maybe if that happened, they might have no objection to it then.
Right, so the closer
Right, 'cause you got
proximity we keep it to the town of Philipstown, the more sense it would make.
Yeah, especially since we're gonna have the right plow to plow the snow.
I'm sure it's easier than plowing that dirt currently. That all ends up on the plow, but, all righty, any other questions from the board? If not, I'll open it. Anybody in the audience have any questions? Yes, we're not addressing whether we're paving or not, it's questions about, thank you. Come on up to the microphone, please.
Carl Dushin, South Mountain Pass. Thanks for having me up. I have a question for Adam. With regards to if you're plowing a speed hump, there was mention that you need a rubber bladed. Well, so you would have a large truck with a conventional blade to snow plow, and then what? A pickup truck would come by with the rubber blade, or how would we work?
Not that far yet.
How would we work that?
We've never dealt with that before, so we'd have to.
Right, so. You know, you'd be a situation where the humps wouldn't be plowed until this pickup truck with the rubber thing.
I'm sure we could work something
Come
out,
by.
Carl, to manage it. Thank you. Yes?
Are we permitted to ask questions at this?
Yeah, that's what this is all about, yeah.
Russell Dushin, lifelong resident of South Mountain Pass. Can you tell us what day of the week you visited South Mountain Pass?
Sure, I have it in the report.
And approximately the time?
Sure. The time, I was there all day. From early morning. I was there for the morning rush, middle of the day, and also the evening rush. Just give me 1 second, I'll give you the exact date.
I'm curious to know what day of the week it was.
Yeah, I was there on September 16th, 2025.
So that's Tuesday? That would be Tuesday?
15th is a Monday.
I was there on the 16th.
September, so that.
Oh, did you say?
So September 16th, 2025. 16, 1/6.
So that would have been
I could figure it out. What is it, Tuesday?
Tuesday on the calendar?
Tuesday.
Thank you. Tuesday, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Traffic is undoubtedly worst on that road on Fridays, just FYI. Every Friday is a lot worse than any Tuesday. Did your evaluation include any kind of evaluation of accidents that have occurred on South Mountain Pass over the last some odd years?
No, that was not in our scope, correct. Did not.
In your report, at the portion of the report where you refer to the need for a three-way stop sign, you indicate that that intersection had more traffic on it than any other intersection on South Mountain
On
Pass.
the day I was out there, that's what we noticed.
Are you aware that that is the only intersection on South Mountain Pass?
Yes, that is the only true intersection.
That's the only town, but there's plenty
It is the only place where there is a through road on South Mountain Pass. Every other intersection on South Mountain Pass is either a driveway or a road that services multiple driveways.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, that is the only through road. Now, I heard what you said earlier about sight distance there. It's not great. There's a big wall there. There's a lot of debris growing on the wall.
Yes, sir.
And there's also now, thankfully, one stop sign there that has, over the years, mysteriously come and gone. I'm not responsible for that.
I noticed
just
that on
FYI.
Google. One time I did not see it on Google, and then.
And another time you do see it.
Correct.
I really don't think we need a three-way stop there. I think that that is a bad idea. It is in the middle of a hill. Got a lot of trucks that use that road, especially the Carta garbage trucks that make a ton of noise. They go up my hill. I hear them. They wake me up in the morning when they go up my hill. The folks who live in the vicinity of that are gonna have to listen to trucks stopping and going up that hill. It's gonna be a nightmare in the winter. If you're trying to get up that hill in the winter, you're not stopping at that stop sign. No way. You won't make it up the hill. It's not gonna happen.
So you just want the one stop sign that's currently there today?
I don't think we need another one, unless somebody can tell me there's been lots of accidents there
Well, I'm just.
in the presence of that one stop sign.
We're just basing it on the traffic engineer's experience and suggestions. And if they're going the trucks are going 15 miles per hour, coming to a stop and starting again, I don't think it's gonna make a big difference in the volume.
I think a lot of people are going 15 miles an hour.
Well, but,
Okay, and the enforcement is, let's face it, non-existent, okay? Nobody's gonna slow down for a flashing sign that says you're going 30. In fact, what's gonna happen is people are gonna compete to see who can go fastest through there. And quite frankly, if there's anything missing from that sign, it's a third digit, okay? People will just compete to see how fast you can go. Kids will do that. I might even do that. I did hear a couple encouraging things from this gentleman. The most encouraging thing I heard was this road has natural traffic calming measures. It's narrow, it's windy. And as I've said to this board before, if you pave that road, you should keep it narrow. And the last thing you should do is allow it to vary, to go from wide to narrow to wide to vary, because that's what makes people go fast. When they go flying down a wide section of road, they don't necessarily know that a narrow section is coming. So, thank you for that comment. As to the speed hump at the border of Cortland, there's a driveway right there. It obviously can't go right where the driveway is. The driveway is right at the line. So it's got to go beyond the driveway. If you're coming down that hill and you don't know there's a speed hump there, you're in for a rude surprise.
not
Okay,
if
so
you're going 15.
Again,
But that's the.
nobody's going 15.
Okay, but that's the intention. I mean, and that's what we're looking, and if you go through there once and you're speeding, the second time you go through and you hit the speed hump, my bet is you'll be slowing.
Yeah, if you know it's there.
Well, there will be a sign in both directions.
There's a warning sign in both directions.
Correct.
And you're right, sir, one of the reasons for wanting to go out and locate it with the town is to make certain that is not put in a driveway.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that those people need to get out of their driveway.
It's not the proper location.
Another thing I heard you say was that this board you want to be confident that you've done your due diligence. I went back and I watched the meeting video and read the minutes from the September meeting when this board elected to hire this gentleman and his firm to do this study. There was a remarkable debate during that meeting after Councilman Angel put forth a proposal to do a more thorough safety study, particularly for the people who walk on the road, the pedestrians who walk on the road. Jason has ample reason to do that. He walks the road, his wife walks the road, his kids walk the road, his mom walks the road, his dad would walk the road if he could still walk. What followed in that discussion was a discussion by this board and the town's attorney, not this woman here, but the previous attorney, about the dangers of opening up that can of worms. Okay, and essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, but what I believe I heard was this board doesn't want to go there, doesn't want to ask that question, because if there are recommendations that come back, say the recommendation is widen the whole road to 30 feet, nobody wants that.
Or 60, which is what the right-of-way is.
Okay,
Right.
whatever. Nobody wants that, obviously. That you would then potentially be liable if you didn't follow that advice. How you're not liable anyway by coming right out and admitting that I don't want to do this study because I don't want to be liable is beyond me. I suspect this board is going to be liable anyway.
Well, we're liable
Whether
regardless.
Whether
Truly.
there's safety.
But
or
if we
not.
implement these devices that we're hoping will keep people to drive at 15 miles per hour, not only would it provide safety for the drivers, but it would also provide safety for the walkers that are on the road as well. And we have no
Haven't
shortage
done this.
of walking trails in the town of Philipstown. So if you're uncomfortable walking on South Mountain Pass, there are millions of trails. I shouldn't say millions because I'm being quoted. There are plenty of trails within the town of Philipstown that people could certainly walk and be safe on. So,
Outside my door.
what's that?
They're not outside my door.
People that live on Route 9 don't have a trail outside their door either. The primary
They
reason.
elect to live on
Okay,
South Mountain.
am I
Path.
talking or you talking? You take it.
I'm sorry, go right
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. I let you speak if you'd let me speak, okay? So the idea of making it a safe walkway is not something that we can't guarantee that somebody's safe walking that road currently. It's absolutely not safe probably to walk that road currently. And we are doing everything we can by implementing these precautionary measures, speed humps, stop signs, possibly illuminated signs, to hopefully slow people down that are driving the road, to make it a safer road. It is not a walking path. It is a primary road for people that live on it. They need to get in, they need to get out, and that's the bottom line.
According to the town comprehensive plans, these roads have multiple uses.
Yeah, and you take a risk by walking
People
on it.
ride horses on them, they ride bicycles on them,
It's a
they go
road.
sledding down them, okay? My point was that this board, whether it was a safety study for pedestrians or not, elected not to pursue a safety study.
We did do a safety analysis, and that's exactly what we're doing.
No, that is exactly what you were on the record as saying this is not. You are in the minutes saying this is not a safety assessment.
It's not a traffic
That is a
analysis
quote
study.
from you.
It's not a traffic analysis study. I will stand behind what I said. They wanted to do a traffic analysis study of South Mountain Pass, which could result in us making the road much wider than it currently is.
And I don't want that either.
Well, I don't know where you're going, honestly.
Well,
I
what
don't
I'm
know
trying to
where
say
we're
is
going.
that you haven't really done your due diligence.
I feel that we have.
If you would do your due
completely
diligence,
comfortable.
you would do a safety study, you would do a traffic speed study.
And
Like,
you would get your wish and you would just delay the pavement for another year. It's not happening. We're paving. So take it from there. I'm done. Is there anything else from the audience? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anything else from the audience? What's that? No, we're going to listen, the town engineer is just going to give us an update on paving and on drainage. Thank you. Ron, do you have anything to update us as far as the drainage or paving plan that we addressed at the last meeting of the 4 public meetings that we've had already?
Yeah, well, I think at the November meeting of the board, I made a presentation as to what the existing drainage plans scope was intended to do. It carried the drainage improvements along South Mountain Pass from the county line up to a point past Daverin. At that time, it was, residents had recommended that further consideration be given to areas west of Daverin, and the highway superintendent and myself went out there subsequently. We looked at further drainage patterns out to Putnam Ridge, and there were areas identified where improvements were warranted, and some existing piping was recommended to be replaced. That's now been added to the design plans. So if the board is so disposed, you can authorize that project go to bid. The intention was to have that bid over the winter so that you could obtain bids and have a contractor on board for the spring thaw, and that's where we are today. So there's very limited improvements that were added, but some areas west of Daverin were included.
So the line now is, the additional pavement on the Cortland end goes to Putnam Ridge, or what was the slide?
Some point east of Putnam Ridge, not at Putnam Ridge directly, but just points east where it starts to become steep,
Okay.
right?
East or so just the last hill before you get to Putnam Ridge would be paved?
Yeah. Well, we're at Putnam Ridge heading towards Route 9.
Right.
So that's east.
Just a
And,
little east of that?
Right.
And then, but
So
there's
it's-
another hill beyond Putnam Ridge, which we're not addressing at this.
Well, it's going to be incorporated in drainage facilities that are there. so.
Gotcha. Okay, Adam, do you have any recommendations on changes, or you're comfortable with Ron's plan? I'm comfortable with Ron's plan. Okay. Is there any questions for Ron regarding the drainage? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have these plans been presented to the public, the modified plans? Tonight's the first we're hearing about it.
The first you're hearing about the drainage plan?
The modified plans.
No, yes, this is the
It
first.
was not in the agenda, which was published last night, sometime between 5 and 8 o'clock last night. Whatever is here, if they're modified from the previous version, the public has not had a chance to review.
Do you have the updated plans?
Yeah, no, we do. Specifically, what's here are the same plans that you saw that were available for view in November. We've added a sheet to address the limited drainage that have been added.
So there is an additional
Sheet,
sheet
that's
that is
correct.
drainage on my property, okay? I think I have a right to review
Sure.
that material
Sure.
before this town puts that out to bid.
Sure.
And not here and now. I have a right to digest that. I have a right to digest
Well,
that.
I'm
This
not sure if
board,
it's
this board is supposed to make that information available for 24 hours prior to the meeting. I'm sure you can confirm that for me.
We're not voting on this tonight, so don't question our procedure. This won't happen.
this is just a
You
discussion-
talking or am I talking? Here we go again. I've had a long day, okay, and it's not going to end this way. So I am going to address your question if you give me a second and stop talking. Okay? Thank you. He has a new sheet. It will be given to you. We are not voting on this additional. We've already approved the drainage plan up to where we were. You brought up some questions which we identified at the last meeting. I asked Ron to modify them. He's modified them per your request. Whether it's on your property or not, I don't know. I know that a lot of your stuff is on our property, so we could discuss that if we need to. Our right-of-way is 66 feet wide, okay? So we will provide you with the additional drainage plan. There is no problem whatsoever. We will vote on the additional drainage plan at a later date, but we are here tonight to finalize the plan that we want to put out to bid very soon.
Thank you for confirming for me that you do not intend to vote on this evening. That was not clear when I first stood up.
We've already approved the drainage plan to a certain extent. This is an additional plan.
I ask a couple more questions of Ron. Did you include the Angel septic system on the new plans? For those that are unenlightened, the Angel septic system runs beneath South Mountain Pass.
The pipe goes
to
under the
Angel
roadway.
septic tank runs beneath South Mountain Pass. It was put in the 1930s.
Adam, you're well aware of where the pipe is.
He's hit it many times.
Yeah, the existence of the piping has been known to the town for a long time. The drainage layout that's been evidenced on the plans have recognized that fact, and there's no activity or no proposed drainage in the area of that underground piping that services the Angel residence. That's been understood, that's been on the plan, or the lack of any additional drainage to be installed in that area has long been known. We're not proposing anything. We're picking it up at the surface, and we're going to install additional drainage downstream of that. So that exists on plan. There's nothing that's been changed to address that.
Great.
I got a question regarding that, just for, in case, say that pipe broke underneath the road, for say, whose responsibility is it to get it repaired?
I would refer to the attorney, but I suspect it's going to be the
Homeowner.
the homeowner.
That's what I would suspect.
It's no different than if your water line breaks coming into your house.
I understand,
Yeah.
but, you know, I just wanted to make sure it's clear, that's all.
From the thick booklet of bid specs, it's clear that whoever does the work is responsible for repairing that if they break it.
Oh, I'm talking about in the
During
future.
I
Okay.
understand in the
Okay.
future.
Okay.
But in the event that
Sure.
an existing pipe is broken, it's the responsibility of the contractor to fix that. That is the reason, the sole reason, why I asked that the Angel septic is indicated on the tank, on the plans.
plan.
They have indicated on the plans, for instance, the Angel's propane tank. Okay, makes sense. You want these guys to know where the propane tank is. The Angel's underground electric line is located on those plans. So those, to me, are things that whoever's working on that road or bidding on this wants to know about. I would also expect they would want to know about a septic line running beneath the road. So that was the reason why I asked for it. It wasn't to slow this project down. Shouldn't take 5 minutes to sketch it on the plans. It's just a matter of locating it.
Adam, would you be in the field more than likely when right, and you're well aware of where the septic line is, and it could be identified on the plans as well.
And then I'll make this my last question, I
Please.
promise. The set of culverts that run through the corral at the Dushan House, about 2/3 of which are on town property. Some of those are almost as old as I am. I remember the one in the corral going in 1965. On the plans, it was said that they would be cleared out. It also lists them on the plans as being a long straight line. They're actually 3 separate sequential culverts under that system of road, and they leak, and that's why the turn at the corral is always a soggy mess. If you don't address that, that part of the road is going to be a frost-heaving nightmare forever.
And you're basing your opinion on what's that?
On my observation of that turn for the last 65 years of my life. Okay? I've lived on that road. I could drive it with my eyes closed backwards. Incidentally, I should add that one of the meetings you mentioned that the road was put in the 1700s.
I never said that.
Yes, you did. You said the road was designed or perhaps not even designed in the 1700s.
No, I think that was Sandy that
I
said.
think Sandy mentioned
Sandy
that.
Saunders mentioned that, but
As the
not me.
postal roads for
The
connecting.
quote is attributed to you in the minutes for what it's,
sorry.
the quote is attributed to you in the minutes for what it's worth. If that's the case, I've lived on that road 20% of its lifetime. All right? And in that time, in my extended family, by that I mean parents, siblings, wife, children, only one of us has had an accident on that road. That would be my brother Carl. He's had two. One was actually on Manitou Road. It was caused by a telephone line that had been knocked down by a car, and he hit it on a motorcycle. It was like 3 feet off the road at nighttime, couldn't see it coming. The other was he got run off the road on the paved section of road on the far side, all right? Why am I bringing this up? Because I just want to point out that this is a very safe road as it exists today.
Thank you. Anything else? Yes, sir.
There's much better is,
I'm Vic Mullen. I'm on One Web Trail, just adjacent to South Mountain Pass. And I spoke at the last meeting. I just wanted to make that point again. There's a subsurface stream that feeds the property, feeds some waterfalls, and it feeds a pond that has very sensitive species in it. There's fish, there's heron, there's turtles, frogs, that sort of thing. Concern is that I know there was an independent report read last time, but I don't think it goes far enough. It says it should not affect it, but I'm concerned of the impact it might have on the pond and the species that are sensitive in it.
What will affect? The pavement will?
The drainage change. So that's my concern. And
I'm not familiar with your actual perfect, maybe Ron, do you have any idea of where if we're not changing any outlets of the drainage, where they're going, where they're currently?
That's exactly the point. Any points of discharge that exist along that roadway to relieve drainage, we're just maintaining those points of outlet.
So there's no,
I don't know the specifics of where you are, but I could always inspect that with the highway
That would be
superintendent
fine,
once
yeah.
again.
And,
But
you
we're
know,
not changing
Yep,
drainage.
understood.
Right.
What I'm interested in is, doing the subsurface flows, pond recharge to make sure the pond doesn't drain out and kill all these species that are there.
you guys, you can go out and take a look at that,
You're
Ron.
welcome to come anytime.
If you could email me or Ron with,
Yeah, and I'll send you this note too.
please, thank you.
Will do. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
It's the same culvert I was referring to, the one that runs through the corral.
Carl, you have something else? You said,
Oh, just it's just annoying you that, my point is that the pavement's gonna be way slipperier on two wheels. And that the dirt has loads more grip when it's wet versus wet or icy pavement has, that's all. It's
thank you.
It's quick, it's brief.
Anything else on the board?
No, thank you.
Good. Okay, so Ron, you will go out and take a look at this one item. Then we're comfortable with the drainage pavement plan. We will review, the board will review the safety recommendations and come up with a plan in the next, I don't know, what's reasonable, 1 month? When do you need a final plan from us?
Yeah, the project should be released for bid by the end of this month so that you can use February to obtain bids and get them in the town hall.
If we do a discussion on the SLR plan in the first week of February, would that work? Like if our February?
Whatever you authorize, it should be on the street in the winter, yeah.
Okay. So it's the first Thursday of February. We can come up with a plan at that meeting and we'll vote on what will be implemented. What's that? I'm sorry. Can you guys, we're having a meeting, excuse.
It'll essentially be these same plans that you've been reviewing. Right. We'll confirm things, but
Right.
the plans are in place, yeah.
And then the safety plan will be all included in this bid package. We'll do that.
Not in this bid package, no.
We'll do it
This
separate.
only covers the drainage. The paving will be authorized through state bid.
Okay.
You obtain those bids annually.
So that we'll handle the safety
It's part of the paving.
part of the
This
paving.
is addressing just the drainage aspect that you want to put in the ground before paving is accomplished.
Gotcha. Okay. All righty. Anything else? Go ahead.
Just to the board,
Yes.
any revisions you want me to make to the study, or would you like me to go out also and take a look at where it could be put on the Philipstown side, where I think it works? I could also do that and revise the report
Yeah,
accordingly.
we'll come up with a plan, and we'll get it to you.
That's fine.
And then it'll go from a draft plan to a final plan.
That's fine.
For-
I'll await that from you, and then I'll go from there.
Thank you,
You'd be
ma'am.
able to see whether you could fit multiple speed humps in
I'll
that.
see what we could fit in that.
behind the line?
In that area, correct.
But I will continue the conversation with the Town of Cortland supervisor.
Okay.
That, we're definitely gonna need one of them within the Town of Cortland, right? I mean, there's no,
Yeah, I would imagine that would be the case.
and I think the closer we stay to Route 9, the more effective it would be anyway.
It's more effective, like I said, if you have it at the ends as soon as the ends of the road as soon as you come in.
Before go in,
Because then you realize you're in this special area
Right.
where traffic needs to be calmed.
I'm sorry, real quick, you know how on the 9 side, there are 2 entrances to the road? So this would be
Yes.
after that?
Yes,
kind of
correct.
triangle and
They
further,
kind of,
yeah.
they branch, and as soon as they come together.
Yeah, I did, I just wanted to be
That's where
clear.
it's indicated on the map.
So nothing on those,
Nothing on those.
The entrance
As soon as they
areas,
come in,
right.
That's when you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
traffic
But-
coming from both sides.
and signage would be,
Correct,
thank you.
past that point.
Yep.
That's right.
There's no signage on Cortland side, is there, right now?
Yeah, there's all
There are?
kinds.
Yeah,
road-
yeah.
No, I mean, for our new signage.
They don't
you
have
mean
this
as
type
far-
of signage, they have
speed
other
hump
signage.
sign?
No, yeah, is there any new signage on the Cortland side?
Yeah.
plan
There would
here?
be, yes.
There will be, okay.
The traffic
You don't have
calming
to wait-
zone
Do you have
one.
to get his approval for that?
I'm sure I could probably get an email approval on a sign to go in.
There's
We have,
traffic calming sign, and if a speed hump was located in the Cortland
Right,
side, there
that's
would be
gonna
signage associated with that
Right,
as
you're
well.
gonna try to move the one up.
You have to warn drivers ahead of time about the speed hump, so yes.
all righty,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye.